hip hop's dominance slipping. My concern is the magic is gone. And it's important to, again, understand how these minds think, these commercial minds, because they are responsible for these algorithm playlisting, these pushes. And one thing that he decides to highlight on here in Sanu Am is the fact that the period between 2015 and 2018 was a crescendo for the genre. Disgusting artists like Ye, Jay-Z, Lil Wayne still have more in their tank. Younger artists like Drake, Kendrick Lamar, and Nicki put their mark on the culture, and rising stars like Pop Smoke, Juice WRLD, X, and Cardi B were already scoring plaques. Everything was pointing up. And a couple of issues with this statement already is the fact, like, yeah, it was dope, having like Jay-Z and Lil Wayne dropping albums after so many years, but Kanye's still consistently dropping music. So to just highlight 2015, 2018 for Ye was off. Younger stars like Drake, Kendrick Lamar, and Nicki put their mark on the culture. And yes, Kendrick Lamar 2015 to 2017, 3 projects, T-Pap, Damn, and Untitled Unmastered. Drake, whenever, if you're reading this, it's too late. Views, so on and so forth, was monumental. And Nicki Minaj, honestly, was it the Pink Parade? I forgot the name of that, but she was doing her thing. And of course, I'm appreciating the fact like rising stars like Pop Smoke, Juice WRLD, and X were mentioned. But then we got Cardi B, which I understand is a rapper. I understand she blew up, but we only got one album, a couple singles. Let's not go too crazy. Anyhow, following that, looking at the hip hop landscape today, you might get a different feeling. Rap is still enormously popular, but its growth is slowing. This statement right here, I'm not going to get too deep into the numbers because I find the numbers not to really capture the culture. If you look at the hip hop landscape today, you might get a different feeling. One of the quotes by him, and Suno, it's how would you get a different feeling whenever it comes to the magic? We've had monumental albums from Denzel Curry, who's been a decade into the game, from Jid, a continuation to the Never Story, the Forever Story, which is my hip hop album of the year. Kendrick Lamar making a grand return. We have Kenny Mason from Atlanta dropping an album. Mike Dimes, after his momentum in 2021, also dropping an album. Ian Triplin, who has been making noise in 2022, also notable for that moment in Rolling Loud where he was performing that a lot of people, has been bringing in an interesting story from YouTube producer or producer in general to now a rapper artist, and the way he has these weird voice inflections, melodies, sort of the X influence in there as well, and some beautiful music videos is something to take note of. We still have Pusha T with It's Almost Dry, an album half produced by Kanye West, an album half produced by Pharrell, and you're telling me that isn't an album or a moment where it's magical as well? That's in 2023, having an album produced by Ye and Pharrell, by Pusha T, who is still sounding as fresh and crisp as ever. And I want to go into this statement, and this is by Carl Cherry, Spotify's creative director. I will say I'm concerned. 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, those years felt magical. My concern is that the magic is gone. How can the magic be gone when we've had some incredible albums and artists rising in 2022? Now, some of the arguments for this is that, first rap superstars like Drake, Kendrick Lamar, and Post Malone are aging into a different chapter of their careers, less invested in chasing hits. But that has never been a thing for Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar has never chased hits in his career. Post Malone, granted, he has said the label has pushed him to put more tracks into his album to make more pop-friendly songs to make hits. However, he himself hasn't chased those hits. It's just he's capable of chasing those hits. And Drake definitely doesn't have that same magic from like 2015 to 2017. Some people put Scorpion in there. We put in 2018 Scorpion in there as much as I critique the album. However, Drake also being someone that he does chase hits, it's still, Drake right now is still dropping music consistently. Even though, by the way, this article was published October 18th, so her loss hasn't officially dropped. So we only got Honestly Nevermind. So granted, it's like, all right, I can see why Drake is like, they feeling this kind of way about Drake. But to organize it a bit more. where did the article? It's my fault. I'm like, I slid too far ahead. So already these statements being made, it doesn't sound like from someone that really listens to rap, but like, or the people that really appreciate it. And of course they do cite, certain albums, but of course it's going, whenever they cite Mr. Morale, the Big Steppers, 12 Karat Toothache, Mr. Insono here, it's going straight into numbers. Is going straight into, all right, but did it top off their Hot 100 topping tracks? For example, Drake with God Plan, Humble with Kendrick, Post Malone, Rockstar. And because they're not able to produce these hits, these three group of artists it's gonna summarize the entire genre of hip hop of not having that magic or going down a slippery slope. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Doesn't make much sense. And this is the thought process behind these people in corporate music industries. Like, oh, wow, they weren't able to match their previous number one hit. Why? Like, wow, why would I want to listen to hip hop if the song isn't on the top 10 Billboard? Who cares about Jid and J. Cole if they're not doing number one hits or hits like Post Malone? It's disgusting for hip hop. And another big thing here too is the fact they mentioned Post Malone in this hip hop conversation. When he is not hip hop, there is hip hop influence. He is not a rapper either. But this is something that is going to continue to be, for whatever reason, these corporations are going to continue to put him on here. Another big play that I could sort of agree with is the fact that a lot of the youth that does come to rise and shine end up being killed off, whether we're talking about X or Juice WRLD, and they don't have the, of course, because they're not here anymore, we're not able to get more music from them. And at times, depending on how their discography is handled, we don't see the longevity their music could have survived. And these are just some of the things I want to touch off in the beginning of this article. From here, the article goes in some weird tangents that just some are I could sort of see. Other times it's just like, again, they're not really making too sense. So whenever it comes to the numbers, and it's just like, all right, the numbers ain't about everything. There's at some point he's discussing the baby, but the baby artistically hasn't evolved, so it only makes sense his music isn't gonna show the numbers either. And whenever we talk about hip hop and rap, I mean, we got better artists to discuss than the baby, which I want to say here on the podcast as well. The baby is a dope rapper. Even to this day, I think he's a dope rapper. But when we're looking at the baby to be like the frontliner for rap, come on now. Roddy Ricch, they mentioned the fact he hasn't been able to make singles either, but that is because he waited way too long to drop music. Genuinely. And that could be a separate discussion in itself. And then ultimately, one thing that I do want to discuss is the fast food era of music and the way TikTok, it blows them up and doesn't give them enough life to live. But with that, Vividnectar podcast episode 265, from Lil Yachty, my experience with it, to Denzel Curry is not underrated. The fact that DJ Khaled is a musical genius and hip hop dominance is slipping, is dying, I completely disagree. The fact that we have industry, people in the industry that think like this, that is so number driven, and the sort of flavor that they lack severely in the kind of music they listen to, explains why these kind of topics, for whatever reason, still exist. And it's laughable. It's a joke. And I'm happy I was able to communicate some of this. I want y'all know too, like, whenever you see these articles, the people writing them, who are they? Who are they? What do they listen to? What do they listen to, and what are their metrics? Because 9 times out of 10, they're gonna be people that, hey, yo, you listen to the Forever Story? No. Or yeah, what's your favorite track? Unless it takes someone a good bit to like figure out their favorite track, that's cool. But if they literally had no idea, it's like, get the hell out of here.